Okay, so let's talk about motorized screens. They sound amazing, right? The ultimate high-tech upgrade for your Florida home. But what if I told you they're one of the most misunderstood products out there? And they really only make sense in very specific situations. So, today we're going to break it all down. We'll figure out when they are an absolutely brilliant investment and when, well, when they might just be an expensive headache.
I mean, you can just picture it, can't you? You're out on your patio, you grab the remote, click one button, and this beautiful screen just glides down. Instantly, you've got shade, no more bugs, and you're in your own private, breezy outdoor room. It's the absolute dream of total comfort and control. But this is Florida we're talking about. So you have to ask yourself, is it really that simple? Can a fancy piece of fabric and a metal frame honestly stand up to everything our climate throws at us? And the answer, as you can probably guess, is, well, it's complicated.
It really all boils down to what I like to call the Florida factor. Look, it's not just about getting some shade or keeping the mosquitoes out. We've got intense humidity, we've got high winds that can pop up out of nowhere, and of course, we have hurricane season. This means that any outdoor project has to be engineered for strength first and looks second.
And this right here, this is the fundamental challenge of living in Florida, isn't it? On one hand, we want this perfect, calm, beautiful patio life. But on the other hand, we have to build for this reality. Any structure you put outside has to be able to handle both of these extremes. And that, my friends, is a serious engineering puzzle.
So here's the big takeaway, the golden rule, if you will. The best solutions, the ones that actually last, don't try to fight the Florida climate. They're designed to work with it. That simple idea should really guide every single decision you make about your outdoor space.
Okay, so with that rule in our back pocket, let's talk about where motorized screens fit in. When are they actually the perfect tool for the job? Where do they really, truly excel?
First thing to remember is their primary job is not structural. It's all about comfort and convenience. We're talking about on-demand sun protection, a shield against those pesky mosquitoes and no-see-ums, instant privacy when you want it, and just that awesome flexibility to open or close up your space whenever you feel like it.
So what does a perfect scenario look like? Well, here's number one, installing motorized screens underneath an existing solid roof. Think a covered patio or porch. The key here is that the roof and its support columns are already doing all the heavy lifting. They're handling the wind load. This lets the screen do the one job it was designed for, providing that nice, comfortable layer.
Oh, and here's another fantastic use case, the garage. I mean, think about it. The opening is already a super strong structural frame. You add a motorized screen, and bam! You've instantly turned your hot, stuffy garage into a breezy, pest-free workshop, a home gym, or just a cool place to hang out. And you did it without a huge construction project.
And that brings us to the third ideal use case. And honestly, for Florida, this is probably the smartest setup of them all. We're talking about installing motorized screens inside an existing, properly engineered screen enclosure. What you're doing here is creating this super effective two-layer system.
So why is this the gold standard for a Florida home? It all comes down to one really simple but powerful idea, separating the jobs of structure and comfort.
Just think about the difference for a second. A standalone screen takes the full force of the wind, putting a ton of stress on the motor, the tracks, the fabric, everything. That means it's going to wear out way faster. But if you put that same screen inside an enclosure, it's completely protected. It operates in this calm, stable little bubble, which means it's going to run smoothly and last so much longer.
Let's just boil it all down to this one simple thought. The big engineered screen enclosure, that's your workhorse. It does the heavy lifting, it handles the wind, it protects the whole space. The motorized screen is then totally free to do its one easy job, providing that flexible layer of comfort, shade, and privacy whenever you want it. It's really that simple. Two different tools for two very different jobs.
All right, of course, we've got to talk about the money, the investment. Let's be clear, motorized screens are a premium product. So it's super important to understand what actually goes into the cost, and even more importantly, what you should realistically expect to get for your money. So what determines that final price tag? Well, it's a few different things. First, the size of the opening. That's a big one. Then you've got the type of screen fabric you pick. Do you need one for intense sun, for tiny insects, or for privacy? The brand of the motor itself is a factor. And naturally, if you start adding cool features, like smart home integration, that's going to move the needle on the budget too.
And some of those extra upgrades, they can be really cool. Things like multi-channel remotes, smart home bridges so you can use your phone, and even wind sensors that automatically pull the screens up when the weather gets bad. But just remember, and this is key, All of these are fantastic features, but they're part of the comfort package. They are not part of the structural package.
And that brings us to the most crucial point of all, managing your expectations. When you buy a motorized screen, you are buying a phenomenal comfort and flexibility solution. You're buying the ability to completely change your outdoor space with the push of a button. What you are not buying is a structural, hurricane-rated storm shield. And that is the single most important distinction you need to understand. Okay, so let's put all this together. What's the smartest path forward for you and your home? Let's quickly walk through the final takeaways.
Here it is, as plain and simple as I can say it. If you want the best long-term performance, the best durability, and frankly, the best value for your money here in Florida, the #1 solution is to have motorized screens operating inside the protected shell of a properly engineered screen enclosure, period. So if you're thinking about this, here's a little roadmap to making a smart decision. Step 1. Take a look at your space. Do you already have a solid roof or an enclosure to work with? Step 2. Define your main goal. What are you really trying to solve? Is it the sun, the bugs, or do you just want more privacy? Step 3. Set a realistic budget. And remember, this is a comfort upgrade. And finally, Step 4. Talk to an expert. Find someone who really gets the unique challenges we face here in Florida.
And hey, just one last word of caution. If you try to make a motorized screen do a job it was never designed for, like making it your only line of defense against a Florida storm, you are almost certainly setting yourself up for disappointment. That's where you get that big gap between expectations and reality.
Now, if you are considering motorized screens for your place here in Florida, and you want to make sure you get the right system, one that actually fits your home's structure and what you want to achieve, it's worth talking to specialists. A company like Scree Factory, Florida, for example, focuses on these kinds of outdoor solutions. They can help you sort through all the options and design a system that not only looks great, but is actually built to last. You can find their website and all their contact info right down in the description below. Thanks so much for tuning in.